guys, Dazzle here, and today we're talking about teachers. I think teachers are very important, and a lot of them are actually really nice, with the exception of a few. So today we're going to be talking about my experiences with good and bad teachers. Starting off in kindergarten, I loved my kindergarten teacher. I loved her. She was so sweet, and she was very nice to everyone. And then something happened involving my family, and my family was torn apart, especially my mom and I. And it got bad, so I had to move schools for a couple months. And when I went back to my original elementary school, everyone was happy to see me, but my kindergarten teacher made sure I was happy and comfortable and calm and was just trying to make me feel better, which I never got to thank her properly for. So, if you're watching, thank you. You're the best. I'm going to be talking about the good teachers first and the bad teachers later in the video. So, on to fourth grade. I had an art teacher, and my gosh, I loved her. I still talk to her every now and then, but she was so nice. She was so supportive of everyone's art, and I loved it. I did a lot of fun stuff in her class. I just loved art. I always have. And she was just really nice to everyone. She never told us not to draw. She always told us to just be creative. She wasn't biased against styles and stuff like that. So I really appreciated that, and it was nice. And I still talk to her. Hi, if you're watching this. Oddly enough, she has the same name as my current art teacher, so yeah. I thought they were related for a second, and then they're not, which makes me kind of oh, I feel dumb now. On to middle school. The other teachers in elementary school were nice, but no offense, if I know at least one of them is probably going to watch this video, but no offense to you guys. You guys were still really good teachers, but I liked my other ones because they did something that stood out to me or impacted me in a really good way later on in life. Middle school, I don't really remember having a favorite teacher, but I do remember hating the art teacher. I know every artist has a story like this, but this art teacher hated everyone. If you didn't draw realistic or perfect on the first time, oh, you were not good. She did not like us. We were a noisy class, but, still. I don't remember a lot of my teachers. I was only at that school for 2 years, and I was focused on other things. Issues with a certain person that I don't have issues with anymore. Hi, buddy. You know who you are. And I had issues with that person for a while, and the one teacher I remember talking to the most in middle school was, trying to think, I don't even remember half of my teachers in middle school, though. A lot of them were just not important to me. And yeah. I do remember one, my science and math teacher, just my science teacher, science teacher from 7th grade. She was really nice. Everyone hated her, but I didn't mind her. She was nice and was doing her job well, so I wasn't complaining. My history teacher from 7th grade was amazing. I loved her. May have had a slight crush on my math teacher because he was cute. I was a weird kid. You can't judge me. All my friends picked on me for it, but I didn't care. I don't even talk to half the people I went to middle school with anymore. High school. I'm not done with high school yet, but the teachers that have really made an impact so far, starting off with freshman year, was definitely my interior design teacher. I love this woman. Oh my gosh, she was so sweet and was always asking, like, oh, do you have any more pictures of your art? I just love seeing it. I'm like, oh, this woman is so sweet. And then she retired, and now I signed up for her class this year, and my cat's trying to open my door, and I got in, and then, like, a week later, after I found out I was getting in, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be in your class next year. She's like, I'm like, what? She's like, I'm retiring. I'm like, what? No, you can't be retiring. So yeah. And the other teacher that I remember the most, like, that really helped me through freshman year was my history teacher. I love him to death. He is so sweet, and he was just very supportive of me. Like, I remember the first day of class, he gave me a compliment on my necklace, because I was wearing, like, this little heart necklace that my grandfather got me, and I'm just like, oh, thank you. I remember that specifically. That's the one thing I remember from the first day, other than being stressed as heck. But I still talk to him a lot, because he is so nice, and he always would, like, he was so supportive of my art, and at the same time, I was really struggling in freshman year with some issues that I am not going to talk about in this video. They're for a later video. And I just remember him never giving up on me, because my grades were horrible. And I just remember him telling me, look, you've got to get this done because it's important and it's good for you. And I remember that, and I just remember on the last day of school that I would see him for, like, a while. I'd be like, I remember going up to him like, thank you for never giving up on me. And I love my history teacher. I love him. He is so nice. And I think he's probably going to be watching this video, so hi! I also remember, like, he'd always pick on, like, some of the guys in the classroom. Like, he'd pick on them, just, like, normal guy stuff. He'd always pick on them about, like, girlfriends and stuff. And then me and my boyfriend got together, and I thought it was hilarious because he's... Okay, my cat's still trying to get in my room. You're not getting in, Frankie! So, I remember that he stopped me in the hallway one day, and he's like, I just think you two are adorable together. I'm like, that's why you don't pick on us. Like, he wasn't being mean about, like, picking on people. He was just being, like, he's just a big softie. He's so sweet. I'm bragging about my history teacher for, like, half of the video. Okay, not half, like, a couple minutes. But he's great. He's, like, intimidating, but once you get to know him, he's, like, just a big teddy bear. I love him. Okay, I should probably talk about my other teachers. The other teacher I remember from freshman year was... Oh, dang it, I can't remember. Oh, my creative writing teacher. How could I forget her? Oh my gosh, I love her. She was so nice. We bonded over our love of cats. I'd always show her pictures of my cat. I had a cat before, the one that is trying to open my door, but he died when he was 7 months old due to an illness, which was sad. And I just remember being, like, really upset, and my creative writing teacher's like, oh, it's okay, I understand. Like, she was just so nice, and just, she wasn't, like, forcing, like, I was still doing my work, but not as much as I usually do, and she understood. Sophomore year, which is the year I am in currently, I love, once again, my creative writing teacher because I had her class last semester. I also really loved my math teacher this year, Mr. I'm not going to say his name. I don't have his permission to say his name, though. But he was amazing. Like, he was really nice, and he knew that I was struggling with math, so he's like, hey, I have tutoring open these days, you can come in. And I'm like, okay, and I would come in. I remember I got into maybe a little bit of an argument with him at one point because I didn't want to accept the fact that it was my fault that my grades were the way they were. And he's like, you don't care. I'm like, And I just remember thinking in my head, like, if I didn't care, I wouldn't be in tutoring. I was so ready to yell at him, but I didn't. I'm like, okay. So that was an argument almost started, but I didn't say what I wanted to, and it really was my fault that my grades were the way they were. Yeah. So from the second semester, I remember absolutely, wait, no, I'm in the second semester. I am taking, like, really interesting classes. Not the biggest fan of my apparel teacher. No offense to her, but I don't like the classmates. I don't like the classmates. I'm okay with the teacher. She's cool. But for second semester, I love my art teacher. Once again, I just love drawing, and she's, like, super supportive of my art. She's not the biggest fan of my style, because it's very cartoony, but, like, she still says, like, oh, you could become an illustrator with stuff like that, and that means a lot to me, especially for young artists. Saying stuff like that means so much more than saying, you're never going anywhere. Now on to bad teachers. I've had quite a few. Let's start with first grade. So first grade, we had this one, I remember what she looks like. Really tall, very tall, blondish hair, late 50s, maybe early 60s. This teacher hated everyone. Like, not gonna lie, she would put kids in detention or whatever. We were in first grade, by the way, for no good reason. Starting to see why I didn't do so good in her class. It was her fault. My mom, every parent complained about her. My mom was like, yeah, I think she got fired that year. I didn't really have any other bad teachers. Teachers that didn't really help me, maybe, like, I remember my freshman year math teacher, now I have, like, I do not like getting yelled at. I don't like hearing yelling near me because it freaks me out. So imagine what happens when we don't listen. Well, we did listen, but we didn't do it the right way the first time. She starts yelling, like, at the class, and I'm just over in the back corner, shaking like the awkward little person I am. So yeah, I passed that class, but I remember this really made me mad. I didn't do so well on the final. I was, like, 1 point away from passing, though. And I went in to retake it. It was the middle of summer, by the way, and I hated it. But, like, I went in, I was okay with this. I sat down, and she hands me the test, and she says, the reason you're in here again is because you didn't take your time. You finished an hour before everyone else. Which wasn't true. I finished 5 minutes before the second person finished. And I still didn't do good on the second one, even though I took my time, so it wasn't that I wasn't good with time. I'm not good at math. I hate math so much. I don't really remember having any other bad teachers, so yeah. I have a lot of stories to tell about my life. I'm planning on making some more serious videos, topics such as mental illness, self-harm, depression, stuff like that. But I also plan on making stupid videos, because that's what I want to be known for. I don't know. I have a lot of stupid stories to tell, because I was a dumb kid who decided, I should run at full speed right into the playground. Let's see what happens. I tripped and bust my lip open. That was a fun day. Okay, that's for a later video. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!